G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller and welcome back to the Principles of Training. Up until now I've been explaining principles and showing you an example of each one of those principles, but what we're going to do now is show you the principles in a real life training situation. The horse I want to show you in this situation, it was a Grand Prix Dressage rider who came to my place a while ago to get some help with a young imported warm blood gelding, and one of the issues she said he had was porpoising. And I said, what's porpoising? She goes, you know, he kind of bucks a little bit like a porpoise breaching the water in the ocean. That was one of her issues. And another one of her issues was she said she had some contact issues. And so I asked her to show me what those issues were. So in this little clip you're about to see here is where I ask her what the issues are and she shows me what they are, and we talk a little bit about how to solve them.
Still looking and still leaning into my right leg. Now I'm going to start getting his attention and pushing him off of it.
Okay, so when you say he's leaning into your right leg, what do you mean?
He's bulging with his rib cage into it.
Okay.
And wanting to lean in to look out.
Okay.
Now he's not leaning into my right leg, but now he's running the walk that's sped up, and now he's running through my leg. So now I initiate the
Transition.
Before the transition,
yeah.
When he kind of leaned into the contact
yeah.
into it.
So is he dropping his shoulder in now again?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There he drops, there he drops.
There he drops, there he drops.
My right leg, and he's looking left.
And is he getting any better?
No.
How about now?
No.
How about now?
Yes.
Really?
There, he's off my right leg, there.
Okay, very good.
There.
Robin?
There he's running through.
Are you watching this?
What was that?
I just asked Robin if she was watching this. You see what's going on here, honey? No?
I didn't see you.
Oh, no. You see him? Okay. Very good. Oh, yes, I got it now.
Oh.
Okay.
I leg up,
No. Nothing. We're not that technical. Okay, so tell me, how's his shoulder now? Is he starting to drop in again?
Better. He's
But-
starting to right here
Right
now.
about here.
So I'm almost managing him every step.
Okay, but I want you to correct it now and tell me how long it takes to correct it.
All right. There. Except he dropped me, so not really. There he's pulling.
And what about here?
There.
Is it still good?
It's better.
Okay.
Popping out, I need to put my outside leg on.
Ah, so it's running out, isn't it?
Yeah, there
Okay.
he was just taking the shoulder out.
So over here, okay. So let's just do another circle and we'll see, because right now I've got a great deal of data. I'm a scientist about this. I've got a great deal of data about your horse. Okay, and I'm just compiling it, make sure it all. Now is it starting to drop in
right
again?
here.
Starting
Yeah.
about right here,
Yeah.
very good, okay.
Although he's better this time than the last time.
But it was still trying
my
to.
right leg is giving too many aids.
Right, you're doing a lot with your right leg. Okay,
Yeah.
now keep going until you get it fixed. Keep going until it feels good.
All right.
Now tell me when he starts running out through his shoulder.
He's running out his left shoulder.
Okay, very good. Okay. So, you and I need to have a big chat. So at this point in time, her chief complaint is that he sometimes leans in, drops his shoulder in, and sometimes runs his shoulder out. And instead of trying to solve those issues, which I don't really think is the problem, what I do is I ask her to just ask him to walk on the buckle and don't steer him. And what I'm looking for here is to see if he just wanders around, does he go to a particular place and stop there? Because I have a feeling that if that is the case, that might be the cause of all our issues. What I'm going to look at is where's he going to go to and where's he going to stop. Okay? Now he's going to go over there and he's probably going to try to stop about there. Very good. So there's the problem right there. So now you can bring it back over here and here. So horses are always thinking, where's the work, where's the rest?
Right.
Where's the work, where's the rest? And if you think about your, over here, about the third circle around, you said, I said, how is he? And you said, oh, he's a little better. I said, really? Well, I'm using my right leg a lot.
Yeah.
What are you using your right leg to do?
To push him out.
To push him out. And what's he?
And then when we get out, I'm having to push him back in.
And then you push him back in.
Exactly.
Okay. And let's talk about this. Why does he want to go to the gate?
To be at rest.
Because you're going to leave him alone.
Right.
Okay. So he thinks if I go to the gate, you'll leave me alone.
Right.
He's over here and he's wanting to go to the gate. And what are you doing? you push him with this leg and this rein and this leg and so that tends to, horses have that grass is green on the other side of the fence mentality. So that tends to make you think, yeah, I know you push me and pull me and push me and pull me here. If I could just go to the damn gate, everything would be fine.
Yeah.
And so what we've got to do is let them go to the gate.
Okay.
We've got to let them make that mistake.
Okay.
I've talked about this quite a bit. I've just never captured it on film. I always tell people, because I do this at the horse expos, I do a session called Destination Addiction a lot. And I said, anybody here tell me if you've ever seen this lesson, okay? Horses going around, well, I'll go around to the right in this instance, and horses going around. Now your horse is rushing a bit, like half halt, half halt, half halt. Now your horse is running his shoulder out, he's running his shoulder out, fix that, fix that, fix that. Now he's behind your leg, add the whip, add the whip, add the whip. Oh, now his shoulder's dropping in, fix that. Oh, you've got it fixed, that's perfect. But now he's rushing a bit, half halt, half halt, half halt. But now he's running his shoulder out. You don't have the half halt anymore, but you've got to fix that outside shoulder. And you've worked on it so much, oh, it's now good, but he's not forward enough. Every single one of those corrections has to do with that, and nothing to do with the actual thing itself. And so for me, there's two things going on. We're working on something that's not the problem.
Right.
Your horse doesn't want to drop his shoulder in,
Right.
and he doesn't want to run it out. He wants to do those because of another reason.
Right.
Does that make sense? I want to fix the other reason. But the other thing is, you think about how much you're using your right leg there.
Yeah.
You're using it that much right leg, and he's not really getting off of it.
Right.
Basically, you're just kind of holding back the tide, sort of thing. Does that make sense there? And so,
It's too much management.
there's a lot of management. Now, I don't mind managing them.
Right. But
Once they're here.
yes.
So once we figured out that the gate was the problem, I said, okay, so now we can go ahead and start to actually solve the problem. First, we had to figure out what the problem was. Now we know what it is. So then I said, all I want you to do right now is just go ahead and, once again, ask him to walk on a loose rein and don't steer him. Let's see where he wants to go to. Okay?
So you want me to just sit here and...
Just let him, let's let him go. Now, take a hold of him and start walking a 4-metre circle to the right with contact. Does he need to work on bend to the right?
Yes.
Does he need to work on contact?
Yes.
Okay, good. So he wants to be over here. You want to work on bend to the right and contact. So both of you are happy right now.
Okay.
Okay, but let him choose the spot to do the work.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, you're going to do the work anyway.
Right.
And just keep going around.
Now when he bulges, just keep making him turn?
Just keep making him turn, but be aware of that bulge. He's telling you, hey, this sucks. Can we go away from the gate? I thought the gate would be fun. And you might notice he's kind of bulging along this fence.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So we're not going to let go.
Okay.
Because it's the same place. What I want to do is keep doing this until he starts bulging that way.
Okay.
Okay? Every time. But you might notice that circle's changing shape already.
Yeah.
Okay? Just by doing it here, he's like, I thought that over here would be a lot of fun, and I've never really been just let come over here before, and when I have, they've got off and put me away, or they've got a drink of water, or they've talked to Michelle, or they've done anything other. I've never actually come over here and done work before. You think about it. Someone shows up, you go to the gate, you chat with them.
Oh,
okay?
totally.
You go to get a drink of water, someone brings you at the gate. You go to get off, you get off at the gate.
No, I don't.
Okay, a lot of people do.
At the gate.
Okay, but see how that circle's circling
Yeah.
around now? So what I want you to do, when he comes around here, he's thinking of going that way, and he's straight. Okay, you're going to let go. Right about there, just go back to the buckle and see where does he want to go to. Okay, and so right then his head, his brains and his body were going in the same place. Okay, so he came away from that end and then he went back again, and the second time he went back, we did the same thing there, just a little bit of work, and he probably did about 10 circles there. But the thing is, you've got to really have no thought of punishment for this. It's not like, oh, you're going back there again. It's like, hey, we've got to do some work anyway. In this case, you're a dressage horse, and we work a lot on contact with a bend. So it's the whole choose where you work principle. It's not choose where you punish, it's choose where you work. And that's all we're doing right here. So he did around, I don't know, 10 circles or so, and then we let go again, and he started heading away from there, and he went along that other fence, and on a completely loose rein, he walked looking forward with his ears pricked forward, and he walked all the way down that side fence over there. Didn't think about coming home, went all the way to the very end and around the top corner. Now I have some banners on that end of the arena up there. And when he got up there by the banners, he saw the banners and did a big old U around those banners. But the thing was, he didn't turn away from the banners and head straight back to the gate. He went completely around the banners and then back over to the other far corner of the arena, which was very interesting. Then he turned and came back down the other side of the arena. He went all the way back to the end and we did some more work there again. And then the next time we let go, he once again walked straight down that far side, all the way down with his ears pricked, looking forward, all the way down to that end of the arena, came around the end of the arena, and what's funny here is he didn't go around the banners near as much as he did the first time. Okay, and we haven't worked on the banners at all. All we did was work on that gate, but he didn't go around those banners quite as much as he did the first time. Then he walked all the way back down to the far end of the arena, to the gate, and we did a little more with the same work there. And then once again he went back down that long side all the way down to the other end, but this time he walked past the banners and almost turned and sniffed one of them. And if you think about it, just by choosing where we did the work, so in this case it's not so much choose where you work, choose where you rest, it's choose where you work, choose where you relax, even if it's at a walk. We weren't necessarily resting, but we did not do one bit of work on the banners, but just choosing to work them at the other end of the arena made a huge difference with him. And if you remember the first episode of Choose Where You Work, Choose Where You Rest, I told a story about a girl in Canada that her horse spooked at a blue barrel at the other end of the arena every day until she worked on the gate stuff, and then it didn't spook at that blue barrel anymore because the blue barrel was about 5% of the problem and the gate was 95% of the problem. You know, I had a similar situation at a clinic in Ireland last year. There was a lady got on her horse, and when she first got on, she initially just rode him straight to the other end of the arena and tried to make him look at the whatever it was that bothered him on the other end of the arena, and he was a little bit concerned about it. And she kind of wanted to ride him through it and make a big deal out of it. And I said, no, don't really worry about that. Just let him go wherever he wants to go. And he came back down the other end of the arena. He wasn't necessarily attracted to the gate. There was another horse who I was doing some groundwork with down there, and so all we did was choose to do our work down there, basically in a big circle around that horse that was on the ground. And we just cantered him around. This horse was very, very bad at contact. Like we worked on that later, so we didn't. This is the principle of they need to know the answer before you ask the question. This horse didn't know how to work on contact, so trying to work him on contact down the other end wouldn't work. But he can canter. All horses can do that. So we just kind of let him canter around down there on a loose rein. And after a while, when he was looking for a place to rest, we just kind of pointed him back up the other end and let him go up there. And then he came back, obviously, a few times. But by the end of the whole thing, on a loose rein, when we turned loose, he just walked off and actively sought to go up to that other end of the arena. And he was quite a bit more relaxed about it than he had been in the beginning, and we hadn't worked on it at all. So after he'd been to the far end of the arena a third time and walked past those banners, then he kind of did a bit of a U-turn and walked back the other way and walked around the arena to the left. And he walked down that fence on the other side and towards my barn, down the around the corner and along past the gate and the barn. But we didn't do any work right there because he didn't make a beeline for it. You know, he didn't turn at the other end of the arena and come straight down the middle, straight to the gate. He was just walking around following the fence. And so we chose not to do anything right there. And the whole choose where you work, choose where you rest thing basically follows the principle of do the opposite. And if your horse is attracted to a place, okay, we want him to think it's not that attractive, and that's where you choose to do your work. And the place he's less attracted to, we want to do the opposite and give him some incentive to go there, so we let him rest there. But in this case, he wasn't attracted to it, and so we did actually nothing because we didn't have a problem to fix. Does that make sense? If we had worked him again there, and you do that too much, pretty soon your horse won't come down the gate end of the arena, and all he wants to do is go up the other end of the arena, which would give you the, actually give you the opposite problem than what you started out with. So now that we had this horse walking around the arena, not being concerned about any part of it and not being attracted to any part of it, he was just walking around, that's kind of step one. So the next step is they've got to be able to do the same thing at the trot. And you've got to pick up the trot somewhere, and I chose to pick up the trot as he went past the gate. Not that he was attracted to it, but if we did it at the, we started out attracted to it, so if we did it at the other end of the arena, it might tip the scales back the other way a little bit. So, you've got to figure out where you want to choose to do that. We actually happen to choose to do it right by the gate. So just go ahead and just bend him around. Just take your inside rein out to the side. I know you dressage riders don't take your rein out to the side, but just take your inside rein towards me. Towards me.
Why do?
Towards me if you can. Just more towards me. Don't slow him down. Just make that circle smaller and smaller. So take your inside hand towards me. I know you guys don't do that.
Yeah, I do.
Just keep, oh you do? Just keep going around there, because right now you are emptying out worry.
Yeah.
Don't use any outside rein though if you can.
Okay.
Now take your hand wider. Just wider. Just keep going around there. He's just kind of running away. That's all right. Just keep bending him around. You're fine. Keep your hand out to the side. Try not to use any outside rein if you can. I'm going to get out of your circle here. But just keep going around there until whatever's going on goes away. Just keep your hand to the side if you can. Out to the side. And release. Now you're back to the walk. Just let him walk around again. So remember when we first started talking about this morning, I said young horses, when they first start riding them, don't steer, very good. When I first start riding them, they've got to be able to walk, trot and canter without me steering them.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking and they pick up a trot, I'm going to bend them around and bring them back down again.
Okay.
If they're trotting and they pick up a canter, I'm going to do that. But so you see there, once we picked up the trot, then we had problem with another principle of training, and that's don't go to bed angry. As soon as this horse trotted off on a loose rein, he couldn't control his own emotions. He'd go, ugh, and so he went from a trot, got a bigger trot, then he rolled off into a canter, at which point in time I wanted the rider to just reach around and put a bend in his body. So that's to make the wrong thing hard and the right thing easy. As long as he's trotting, we're going to leave him alone, but as soon as he hit that canter, we're going to put a bend in his body, which makes it hard for him to run away. We're not saying you can't run away, but we're saying you can run away in this small circle right here, which, like I said, it's the principle of making the wrong thing hard and the right thing easy. What we didn't do was try to stop him from running around. Okay, he's got all that energy, it's going to go somewhere. What we've got to do is dissipate it and redirect it. And if you can get enough of a bend in their body, they'll start to cross and uncross their hind legs, which helps them with the don't go to bed angry principle, which helps them relax and come back down. But because this horse wasn't very good at that himself, it didn't initially get better. Initially it got worse. If you think about it, he was trotting, he rolled off into a canter, we put that bend in his body and he was kind of cantering around with that bend in his body, and then instead of going, oh okay, and relaxing back down to the trot, he actually started to buck a little bit and do that little porpoisey thing that she talked about initially. But then that didn't work, then he came back to a canter, then he came to a trot, and then eventually he came to a walk. And as soon as he hit that walk, this is wrong thing hard, right thing easy. We've been making the wrong thing hard. As soon as he hit that walk, we made the right thing easy by letting go. We didn't continue to walk around in 15 circles and say, you're a bad horse, you just did something bad. We said, hey, that's perfect, and we let go. And if you watch this little bit right here, you'll see that when we turned loose and he walked off, he actually hung his head and went, and had that big breath right there. And I think that's the first time in the whole session he actually let go. And what he's doing right there is letting go of his rabbits. He's actually resetting himself, and that's the very, very start of the success of this whole lesson. Remember when we first started talking about this morning, I said young horses, when they first start riding them, don't steer, very good. When I first start riding them, they've got to be able to walk, trot and canter without me steering them.
Yeah.
But if I'm walking and they pick up a trot, I'm going to bend them around and bring them. So that whole, when she let that out right there, that's the, as I said before, that's the don't go to bed angry thing. It's like I talked about the cognitive behavior therapy earlier on in the episodes of the Principles of Training, the one that was called Don't Go to Bed Angry. It's being able to come back down, and I think the ability to reset themselves is so hugely important. And right then in that situation, that horse is well trained enough, whereas instead of bending him around and emptying out his rabbits and coming back to relaxed, she probably could have pulled them both around and stopped him from doing any of those things, the little bucking thing, the running away, all that sort of stuff. He would be obedient enough to do that, but it would leave the rabbits in there. And personally, I think the ability to reset their emotions is one of the biggest things that keeps horses safe, keeps us safe around horses, and also allows us to train horses to do really technical things, is the fact they don't build up those rabbits. So it was so important right there that we did not tell that horse, no, you can't do this, because we would have solved or stopped the issue from happening, but still not solved the cause of it, which is that build-up of anxiety. So I hope you've enjoyed this session so far. Join us next time on the Principles of Training, where we'll show you the end of this session, then also the following day's session, and you'll see how we get the straightness issue, the diving in, the leaning out issues, we get those resolved, but we also have a bit of a bonus feature where we get this anxious young warm blood to where the lady can ride him around at a walk, trot and canter with no bridle on, and he's completely relaxed about it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.